Live at the Commercial UAV Expo. We're with a company called ideaForge. They traveled here all the way from India. We've got Ankit and Rahu, the co-founders, to talk to us today, not only about what this company is all about, but to show us their really cool hardware. So without further ado, Ankit, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ankit Mehta. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ideaForge. We started this company with three of my other co-founders, Ashish and Vipul. And I'm very excited to be here.
Rahul, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm one of the co-founders, as Ankit highlighted. I look after the engineering at ideaForge, and in due course, I'd love to explain about the products that we make and why they offer greater value for certain applications than anything else out there.
So you have an interesting origin story to your company. Can you share that with us, Ankit?
Absolutely. So ideaForge was started way back in the year 2007. But we've been building drones since 2004, and how we got into building drones, particularly quadcopters, is that we wanted to build a hovercraft and float the lake right next to our college. But because we wanted to also build something innovative that we could file a patent on, we had to come up with something more creative, and that's when we independently came up with the quad rotor configuration, and we thought that we probably changed the aviation industry, not knowing that it was discovered long back. But we got hooked on to making these systems, and 2004 is when we built the first drone. And then for about 3-4 years, we were developing the technology. We were doing it for various purposes to make sure that we can sustain our business operations. But in 2008, two very interesting events happened. We made sure that our college secures the top honors alongside MIT US in a competition that was attended by almost 70 to 80 universities from across the world, as well as when the attacks were happening with the Taj Hotel in Mumbai, in India. We felt that they were using helicopters to try and look into what was happening in the higher floors where the terrorists were holed up with hostages. We felt that a drone would have done a much better job by being conspicuous by doing the same capture of what's happening out there. We felt that we missed an opportunity to serve, and therefore we decided that we were going to build drones for public safety. And since then, we've been building these drones, delivering our first drone in 2010, with delivering these drones for almost all the use cases out there in our country. Our customers have done over 260,000 operations on our system. So we've seen a quantum cases. We've made sure that customers who use drones as party wear are eventually using it as workhorses for their daily work. We also are very, very excited to share that every 6 minutes an ideaForge drone takes off, either surveillance or supporting applications or surveying applications. These systems are best in the class. We believe that we are a mission-first company that builds drones to make sure that the user's mission is front and center in what's happening out there, rather than focus on flying or stress of managing the operational side of the drone. Take that away, get the focus on the outcome that they want to achieve from the system, and we try to build the best drone possible for them.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a great story. And, so many companies actually, they get inspired by an event like what you were talking about, Ankit. We had another company here in Las Vegas, right? There was a horrific disaster shooting, and that inspired them. Like, we could have done something if we had a drone. And in your case, the same thing. And first of all, if you didn't notice, if you couldn't hear that well, what he said was, in 2008, they tied MIT when they were still forming this company, and every 6 minutes now in India, a drone is taking off, one of their drones. So that's really significant. I know you have to run to a panel right now, so thanks for taking time with us. Rahu is going to talk us through the hardwares here, but thank you. Great to meet you. Have fun at your panel. And we're going to now get a little walkthrough of what this drone is all about. So I've got one here to my right. Can you tell us what this drone is?
Yeah, so just picking up from where Ankit left, we started making drones even before majority of the society really was getting any awareness about what drones could do.
Yeah.
This was early 2000s. We thought that we had made something unique, only to realize these quadrotor configurations have been thought out as a concept long back, right? So this
Yes.
is not a new concept as such, but back then the whole ecosystem had nothing available to put a drone together.
Right.
So that forced us to create everything from scratch. So what was a challenge back then is now a great strength for us, because that means that we know each and every building block of a drone to the fundamental level, and
Yes.
that enables us to optimize it and do value addition to a level that most other systems struggle to do so.
Absolutely.
And that enables the end outcome, a product like this.
So what is this one called?
So this is called Netra V4. It's a fourth generation of our Netra series of products.
Okay.
So what this does is it does a minimum of 60 minutes of endurance. And why a special emphasis on minimum? Because unlike a large part of the industry which would claim its specification as up to,
Yes.
our documentation or our language has no up to at all. It only has minimums.
So did you? So his language doesn't have up to like we always use in the United States. So they have to say minimum of.
Yes.
So minimum of 60 minutes this thing can fly
Yes.
on one battery charge.
On one battery charge.
Wow.
And depending on conditions, it could be 70 minutes, 75 minutes, but minimum of 60 minutes.
Okay.
For mapping applications in one flight, being a multi-copter with an innovative payload configuration that we have, it could do coverage of 2.5 square kilometers of area with resolutions of less than 5 centimeter GSD. So being a multi-copter, it tends to compete with fixed wing and fixed wing hybrid drones for
Right.
area coverage,
Yes.
while providing the flexibility of a pure VTOL to hover and sort of be stationary
So
anywhere.
it's VTOL.
It's completely
It's
VTOL.
vertical takeoff and landing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this whole product packs on inside the bag on which it's standing right now. That bag is portable, backpackable, waterproof, drop rated. So that and the second feature of the box, it becomes your workstation. It's a convenient table to sit on
Yeah,
and
or
work on.
put your drone on. Yeah.
Yeah. So the drone flies off, you sit on the box and do the operations. And when you're done, you pack everything inside the box and backpack it and take it away.
Now, so this all comes apart very easily,
Very
and you
easily.
put it in this box, so you can also, not only is it light to carry, but you can take it on an aircraft pretty easily. If you're
Yes.
a commercial flight, for example, if you were having to fly to a particular location to then
Definitely.
deploy the drone.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And the deployment time of this whole thing would be about 5 minutes or so. So everything is modular, plug and play, no Pokayoke. That means it's idiot proof, so that you don't end up making any mistakes.
So you're meaning I could do it? I could use it.
I'm sure you're much smarter than most people out there.
So-
So, but definitely you can do it in 5
Okay.
minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. 5 minutes or less.
Yes.
So what is this on the top here? It says don't use your hand to hold it.
Yeah, so we have integrated GPSs with survey grade capabilities in there. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
those GPSs give you precision landing as well as PPK capability for survey grade mapping,
Okay.
and that's integrated into the system. All the
PPK
data,
and GPS both.
PPK and RTK for high precision landing.
RTK, yeah. Okay.
So that's built into the system. So it enables you to do high precision landing as well as do centimeter level accuracy for large area mapping.
Now you mentioned it's modular, I believe.
Yes.
So what about the sensors that can be integrated with this particular piece of
So
hardware?
we spoke about the mapping application, but you could also set it up for surveillance applications. So you could do high resolution zoom payload going onto that, a thermal payload. So we set this up for perimeter security applications, border security applications, where this could do day and night operations and high zoom, high resolution video imagery live transmitted.
Yeah.
We support 10 plus kilometers range on this platform. So you
Okay.
could be 10 kilometers away getting a HD live stream of any situational awareness setup going on around you.
All right. Awesome. They're clapping.
Yeah.
They're clapping for you. All right. So tell us about the. So is there anything else that we missed that you wanted to cover about this particular drone?
No, so this drone is already evolving to the next level. So by the end of the year, we would have the next generation coming in with great amount of edge autonomy built into this.
Okay.
So we think our drones are going to follow the same roadmap of uh, autonomous vehicles autonomy, eventually getting to full self-driving. So we think full self-driving or fully autonomous, highly intelligent edge compute on the aircraft is an inevitable future,
Okay.
where the role of the operator diminishes to high-level roles only,
Yes.
and the rest of the operation is automated enough to become routine and high frequency. So
Excellent.
we target high frequency everyday applications rather than once in a while applications. And for that, high level of automation is what we're building for. So by the end of the year, we would have an upgraded version of this, which should be able to do even more endurance, maybe up to 90 minutes,
Okay.
and be able to do high level of edge autonomy on the aircraft, which may be beneficial for a wide variety of applications, maybe inspection, large area surveillance, automated perimeter security,
Oh wow. Okay.
and that'll enable third-party developers to also develop payloads for that. So it's just not proprietary solutions, but
Right.
third-party solution providers could come in, partner with us, and add value-added layers on top of that.
Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead and pan the camera to the other drone we're talking about. This is
Sure.
a fixed wing.
Sure.
And by the way, everybody, we're showing it now. What is the name of this one?
So that product being handled by my colleague Kruti, that product is called Switch, and that's our flagship product doing long range, high endurance surveillance and mapping missions. For the weight class, this is less than 7 kgs flying weight. For that weight class, we feel this is one of the highest endurance platforms out there. We don't know anyone else consistently delivering 2+ hours of endurance.
2+ hours this thing loiters?
Yes. And again,
Wow.
minimum.
Minimum.
In actual cases, you could touch 2.5 hours to 2 hour 45 minutes as well.
Okay.
And the minimum range that we claim on this is 15 kilometers, but it could go up to as far as 25 to 30 kilometers. While doing so, it's carrying electro-optical payload, 25-30x zoom, a daylight sensor, and a narrow field of view, high-resolution thermal sensor for nighttime surveillance. It can also be configured with a mapping payload for doing large area mapping for covering large spaces in a fraction of the time.
Now, as you add these other sensors, some of the ones
Sure.
you just mentioned, it makes it a little heavier, obviously. Does the loiter time dwindle, or is it's still it's you said it's a minimum of?
Yeah, so for every sensor configuration, that minimum guarantee is available.
Okay.
So
Wow.
every standard payload configuration that we offer, that minimum is available.
Okay.
It's not the maximum, it's not up to, it's the minimum that you get.
So I'll tell you, everybody, I was here yesterday. This is when I met these fine gentlemen in this company, and I was so intrigued by this. They were taking it apart, and I put on that backpack. It's
Yeah,
very
you did.
similar to the one here. It's
Yes.
obviously bigger,
Yes.
and it's super light.
Yep.
And I was able to pick up that aircraft myself, just like this.
Yes.
And okay, fun fact, I have not worked out my upper body in 2 years since COVID started at the gym. So like super easy to lift.
Yeah.
And I imagine just like to backpack that in,
Yes.
you know, and just popped right apart.
Yes.
Yeah, super
And
light.
currently, hundreds of these are being used by different users of ours
Yeah.
in the most extreme environments. So this.
Oh,
has
you
a-
mentioned the Himalayas. Like,
Yes.
all right. So he's talking about extreme drones, extreme environments. Like, give us an example, if you the one you could talk about,
Sure.
where this has been deployed, like super
So-
extreme,
So this has a takeoff flight ceiling of up to 5,000 meters.
5,000 meters up.
And up for takeoff, and then climbing another 1,500 meters on top of that. So the flight ceiling in extreme cases reaches 6,500 meters, which is roughly 20K feet.
20,000 feet up.
Yes. It can operate up to minus 30 degrees centigrade, so really, really cold environments.
Yeah.
It can operate in plus 55 degree, really, really hot environments. It can operate in windy conditions, so it can take off and land at in winds up to 40 kmph or more. So we have really designed it to operate in the most extreme of environments out there.
Wow.
And hence it's something which is a dependable, trustworthy tool for users who are deployed in those extreme environments.
And that includes military. So we're
It-
talking military and commercial or civilian
Yes.
applications.
Yes.
Okay.
So we bring the advantages of a military. So one of our taglines is built like a bird, tested like a tank. The tested like a tank is
Built
made,
like a bird, tested like a tank. I love it.
Yes, so tested like a tank is the military heritage and the value addition that we bring to the product. But build like a bird is to bring about the operational efficiency that a lot of enterprise users demand.
Right.
So what we focus on that the total cost of ownership for any service provider or owner of this equipment is lower than any other equipment out there.
Okay.
So
Wow.
we try to optimize on not just the equipment cost, but the overall operations cost, which includes the complexity of human skill and human time involved in there, the
Right.
logistics, the maintenance, and everything. So we could sit down and prove that for the target applications, the total cost of ownership is far more competitive than any other commercial drone out there.
That's amazing. So, is there anything else about this particular drone that you wanted to talk about before we move on?
So, a lot of the technologies. So, one of the claims that we feel, and it's just me claiming this, and you could probably independently verify this, but in this hall, probably we are one of the few, or probably the only one, to have a completely proprietary avionics tech, which is flying these aircraft. So, what that has enabled us to do is bring in flight configurations and features which are very unique and advantageous, which may or may not be available in the open source tech which is available out there, which most of the companies are using. But having said that, what we're also doing is building compatibility with Mavlink and third-party integrations, so that
Okay.
we don't let the value available to the user be limited by what we create,
Right.
but be able to integrate third-party solutions both at the software level as well as the hardware level to enable scaled solutioning on these platforms.
Okay. Well, that's excellent. So, and I know these are just two. You've got what, four? At least four other
Yes. So
configurations and
yes.
drones.
So we have currently three classes. A much smaller class, around 2 kgs or so. Again, does reasonably high performance, 40 minutes or more. Again, minimum 40 minutes.
Yep.
So that's a class that we haven't brought in here. We thought the higher performance classes are more suitable for the
Sure.
American commercial market. But we have products for mapping and surveillance, which are available in a much lighter, smaller, compactor class, which
Okay.
are also part of the portfolio. And all of these combined, sort of the numbers that we supply to the user, aggregate to an average use of a drone flying every 6 minutes. So since the time we started talking,
Right.
a bunch of missions would have started somewhere in the world.
I don't do public math, just
Yeah.
for the record, so I'm not even gonna try to do. But no, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're here, you're at the show.
Sure.
How do people find you after the show? How can they find out more about ideaForge?
Sure. So we have we have a new website launch for especially the American market. It's called ideaforgetech.com. The same is something that the audience can go and check out more information about ourselves, or reach out to us or any email. Anyone can write to info@ideaforge.co.in. Uh, and that's it. So go to your website. All contact information is available out there, and we'd love to talk to anyone who's interested to find out more.
All right, awesome. So, is there any before we close out? Is there anything else you wanted to share with the audience?
So, sorry, I didn't get. Okay, yes. So beyond the equipment, what we also realize is very, very important is product support. And
Okay.
we being a company out of India, a lot of people may think that what about product support? An
Right.
American company is something which is important for doing local product support. So we are opening up a US operation.
What?
And yes,
You're opening up a U.S. operation?
Yes.
When and where?
We're in the process, so anytime now.
Okay.
And we'll be locally available. Product support, technical support will be available. We do offer something called ideaForge Care packages, which guarantee telephonic as well as equipment support depending on what packages that you go for. So product support has been an integral part of our product experience in India, where our organization or organizations partnered with us provide end-to-end support for all the requirements of our users. So that's something that we hope to establish in the US as well, so that
Okay.
the user doesn't have to struggle in case there's a problem. And
Yes.
being an industrial equipment and being an equipment which operates in a real life environment, you can't rule out issues once in a while, right? So what matters is how do you get back up and running in the shortest time possible. And
Yes.
that's something that we want to take very seriously.
Well, you heard it here first. They're coming to the U.S. not just for this expo, but it sounds like a permanent presence. And can you tell us where?
So those things are still in the works, but will be sort of available across the states. We may have a registered office probably in Texas,
All right.
but we should not be geographically limited in terms of our reach.
Okay, awesome. Well, they say everything's bigger and better in Texas. I don't know. I'm in Colorado, but glad to have you here. So great to meet you.
Great.
And best of luck. I know we'll be in touch. Stay tuned because you're going to hear a lot more about this company, especially as they come to the United States and release bigger and better products,
Yes.
which are already amazing. So thank you so much.
In fact, one of the things I missed out is we also take NDAA compliance very seriously. So because of being able to make all parts of components ourselves, so all intelligent electronics in there is made by us, and hence it becomes very easy for us to ensure NDAA compliance. And that should not be a worry for anyone who thinks NDAA compliance is essential for their application.
Bigger, better, bluer. That's all I'm saying. I think that's a wrap. Thank you so much.
All right.
All
Thank you so
right.
much.
See ya. ideaForge.